18 years on, NASCAR Racing Season 2003 continues to be a favorite simulator for many, and while it has certainly kept its long-term popularity, is the newer and more professional simulator iRacing worth it compared to the older NR2003? Join me as I look over a few key aspects, and which is better for people like you. In this video, we are going to take a look at 4 aspects: price, gameplay, relevance and updates, and which is more realistic. An overview of both games may come sooner or later, but for the many trying to get into simulation racing now, I am here to help. The first aspect, price. This one may be a blowout on the surface, but it may be closer than you think. The base software for NR2003, as of now, is abandonware, as iRacing owns the code behind the project and has not threatened legal action of sharing it, so long as monetary add-ons are not added to the program. While there is no definitive download link, many YouTube videos have their own links with the download in their descriptions, meaning the game and its unofficial no CD patch have been made easily accessible. However, iRacing has a subscription-based layout with promotions for newer members, including the code PR HotLaps, which gives new users 3 months for $5. Past that, it's about $10 a month, regardless of package, making the base content more expensive. Add-ons for NR2003 are also cheaper, as due to legal restrictions, mods can only be free and not sold at any monetary cost. As for iRacing, while it has less content overall, missing out on such classics as Rainbow Road and until this last season, Coca-Cola Super Speedway, iRacing provides laser-scanned versions of tracks at a cost. While the best versions of Daytona, Chicago, Richmond, and Bristol are all free on NR2003 thanks to BBMC, iRacing's best versions cost $12 each, which brings more of a dilemma in quality versus quantity to these two simulators. For those on a budget, I simply have to give this to NR2003, as, unlike iRacing, accessories such as a wheel aren't particularly necessary to run the game, as well as lower prices for the base content and add-ons. Albeit I would recommend wheels for simulators, and since NR2003 is 18 years old, it can also run on just about anything, from older PCs to modern higher-end setups. Gameplay, while subjective, can be very important when choosing games, and to make sure you get the fairest experience when showcasing both of their gameplay, I will give my experience with both titles, as well as the ways others around the world experience both. To start, the view in-car. While NR2003 can be used freely in multiple cameras, iRacing is the first-person only experience, in both official sessions and most hosted sessions. You may notice that my UI in iRacing is a bit cluttered, and that is due to the extensions for your in-car experience. With more data being available thanks to extensions like capsules, you can see everything going on with your car and your opponent's cars in real time, as well as using iRacing's default black box system. However, the UI of NR2003 can be entirely swapped, as packages used to enhance user experiences and look similar to TV stations have become notable for their use by many in the community and their ease of installation compared to the way iRacing implements their add-ons. But what about the AI? Since one does not have official multiplayer servers, we must look to the AI for a fair comparison, and, for the most part, NR2003 holds up. While graphically not as sharp as iRacing, it certainly delivers in its racing, and the 4 physics packs make many racing forms easy to replicate. With every piece of gameplay factor aside, sometimes games aren't fun unless there's more to it than the single-player experience. What about updates to quality and multiplayer? While these two may be based on your own taste, this next factor may be a deal breaker, one way or the other. Relevance and updates is something that can make games thrive or kill games in their entirety. In the case of these two simulators, one has consistent first-party support, while the other has inconsistent fan-led support, as its original development studio dissolved, with the latter being the case for NR2003. With iRacing having full, in-depth updates to their simulator and its contents monthly, as well as special events in tandem with real races, the online and offline state of iRacing continues to grow and flourish. However, in the case of NR2003, updates are solely based on groups of individuals, meaning that, in the case where nobody steps up to make new car packs, the newest versions of cars can be used for years without replacement, including the most recent NASCAR Cup package, which has been used since 2019. As for the multiplayer, NR2003 has not had official servers in years, yet peer-to-peer racing is still available through its multiplayer tab, with leagues such as InCar still using the service. On the other hand, for iRacing, official series for all members are hosted online, as well as leagues that users can host, alongside hosted racers that any member can join if they own the content. While iRacing has far more consistent upkeep, the final aspect of simulations is how close they are to reality. Now, onto the final aspect, realism. If pricing is not an issue for you, then realism may be the most important factor, and between these two games, like pricing, this is a definite blowout on the surface. But, like pricing as well, it isn't all bad for either side. iRacing uses the technique of laser scanning, meaning that every track and car brought in from the real world are scanned as accurately as possible, with both initial states and states following tire wear, damage, and track usage, mimicking the way the real tracks behave in tandem with the cars. As for NR2003, the original tracks, modeled by Papyrus, while not modeled using laser scanning technology, had their tracks and cars created with as much detail as possible, given the time that they were created, and due to that, the base cars and tracks held their own. But by the first year of release, modders began adding tracks, using the physics packs in-game to create different cars and emulating newer experiences with the features that NR2003 has, such as force feedback, replaceable textures, as well as new sky maps, and a patch to double the maximum RAM usage. Graphically, despite every push to make NR2003 look better, iRacing is simply more detailed, and while it is impressive that the fans have kept NR2003 close, iRacing is simply something a group of individuals cannot keep up with. Overall, NR2003 is not as realistic in its portrayal, due to many factors, but thanks to the fans, it is to a point where it can still pass as a simulator for those who are not a fan of the pricing module that iRacing uses. With all these factors considered, you could go either way. Thanks to the fans and the fact that it is abandonware, you could go with the cheaper and more customizable NR2003, or, if you are looking for the most realistic and extensive versions of select tracks, you could go with iRacing, despite costs, and use the promotions to your advantage. With all these considered, you could go either way. And why not? Simulation racing is not set in stone as one specific thing. It is about finding your racing style and racing others in the closest way to reality, whichever way that may be. Depending on your situation, I can recommend both, and if you want to get into simulation racing, I will leave both download links in the description. Whichever you choose, take this with a grain of salt, as your experience may differ from mine, and may your sim racing experience be the one you wish for. Stay safe, and have fun racing. I want to thank you, the viewer, for watching this video, and I have a few more videos coming up nearby. It took a while to get a few ideas, but I'm going to make sure to get more content out frequently. So if you do like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you are inclined to, please turn on the notifications so I can continue to grow this channel and make better videos for all of you viewers. Thank you.